2022 Jeep Wagoneer arrives as the brand's full-size SUV offering. More room than the three-row Grand Cherokee L, more affordable than the new Grand Wagoneer. The big mic drop is the 2022 Jeep Grand Wagoneer that will reach dealers this summer with top-notch materials and features and a price tag that can quickly grow to six figures. But for those who want a large three-row family SUV from Jeep at a lower price point, there is the 2022 Jeep Wagoneer. Dropping grand from that luxury hauler's name drops the starting price by almost 30 of a different sort of grand as in thousands. The Wagoneer family is entirely made up of full-size three-row SUVs, augmenting the Jeep brand with its largest vehicles to date. These new models mark the return of the Wagoneer nameplate after 30 years out of the market and represent a modern reinterpretation of the original Wagoneer that came out in 1962 as a 63 model and created a new, proto-sport utility vehicle segment by offering four-wheel drive with an automatic transmission in a wagon-like body. Its mix of capability and creature comforts established the template for the proper SUV format as we know it today. Once the peanut butter met the chocolate, there was no turning back. Jeep went further, setting the gold standard with the 1984 Jeep Grand Wagoneer that took the SUV into premium territory with leather seats, air conditioning, and yes, wood grain accents on the body. These Wagoneers had a good run until Jeep discontinued the lineup in 1991. Jeep is finally back in the full-size three-row SUV game. Now, they're back. The new Wagoneer, which seats up to 8, is expected to spawn future variants, including electrified versions. But at launch, the 2022 Jeep Wagoneer comes one way, with a 5.7-liter V8 engine with the next generation of the Ram 1500 pickup truck's available e-torque 48-volt mild hybrid system. It generates 392 HP and 404 lb-ft of torque and is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission that is operated with a rotary shifter. The Wagoneer, offered with rear-wheel, all-wheel, or four-wheel drive, directly takes on the Chevrolet Tahoe and the Ford Expedition, while the fancier Grand Wagoneer takes on those rigs' higher-priced relatives, the Cadillac Escalade and the Lincoln Navigator, plus the Land Rover Range Rover. Jeep's order books open today, and the entry-level Wagoneer starts at $59,995, substantially less than the $88,995 Grand Wagoneer. That model can be priced as high as $113,000 when fully loaded. The 2022 Wagoneer will come in three trims, Series I, Series II, and Series III, with the three starting at $77,995. The top two trims, 2 and 3, will be available this summer, with Series I coming later in the year. Orders can be placed with a $500 deposit. How to choose between Jeep Wagoneer and Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Customers landing outside of the Grand Wagoneer's higher price bracket will suddenly have two large three-row SUVs from Jeep to consider. The new 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L, a three-row version of the Grand Cherokee, hits dealerships this spring just before the Wagoneer. Of course, the Grand Cherokee L is merely an extended Grand Cherokee, whereas the Wagoneer is being reintroduced as a sub-brand within the Jeep brand. The vehicles don't have Jeep badging, but they scream Wagoneer in bold letters on the front, back, and sides. Picking between the three-row Jeeps won't be a confusing choice, Jeep brand CEO Christian Meny says. The Grand Cherokee L is a smaller, rear-drive-based unibody SUV for up to 7 passengers. The Wagoneer is the next size up, a family vehicle for up to 8 people with body-on-frame construction that allows it to tow up to 10,000 pounds with a Class 4 trailer hitch fully integrated into the frame. The Grand Cherokee L's towing capacity tops out at 7,200 pounds. The Wagoneer is 6.3 inches wider and 9.8 inches longer than the largest Grand Cherokee, which makes for roomier seating in all three rows and cargo space to spare. Oh, and while the Grand Cherokee L comes standard with Chrysler's ubiquitous 3.6-liter Pentasta V6, offering a 357 HP 5.7-liter V8 as an option, the Wagoneer's base engine at launch is that same 5.7-liter V8 but with the next-generation e-torque mild hybrid system added on. Output jumps to 392 horsepower and 404 lb-ft of torque. An 8-speed automatic transmission is standard across the board. Price-wise, the Grand Cherokee is in the $40,000 to $60,000 range, while the Wagoneer starts just under $60,000. No wood inside or out of 2022 Jeep Wagoneer. Let's just get this out of the way right now, there is no wood trim inside the 2022 Jeep Wagoneer. You have to step up to the 2022 Jeep Grand Wagoneer for that. And neither Wagoneer, Grand, or otherwise, offers wood trim on the outside, either. The new Wagoneer was designed to evoke the spirit of the original by offering occupants the sense of being in a big, upright vehicle, with large windows. So yes, there are big, U-shaped windows, and the vehicle is indeed big and upright. There even is a recreation of a two-spoke steering wheel and a grille that leans into the wind like on the original, plus tow hooks and skid plates in case the road trip veers off-road. Jeep's designers broke up the vast expanses of sheet metal by sculpting in a strong shoulder line and a fine chrome line above the greenhouse that encircles the vehicle. Being Jeep, there are little touches of Americana, including the American flag beside the Wagoneer badging on each side of the vehicle. Inside, you can see EST 1963 at each end of the instrument panel, as well as numerous Easter eggs that you can find rummaging around nooks and crannies. The Wagoneer's tailgate window doesn't roll down. One heritage touch that didn't make the cut? The glass in the tailgate does not roll down or open independently. Designers decided against the roll-down glass because it cut into the interior space. Jeep officials say the Wagoneer has some of the best in-class room in all 3 rows, with lots of headroom and decent cargo room even with all the seats up. The Wagoneer seats 8 with a bench seat in the second row or 7 if you opt for the second row captain's chairs. The second row seats tilt and slide for access to the third row, and all rear seats fold flat for a giant cargo area. There are 2 standard screens in the Wagoneer, one is a digital gauge cluster in front of the driver, and the other is a central touch screen for the Yukon Next 5 infotainment system. 3 more are optional, a passenger-facing screen for co-pilot access to navigation directions, text messages, and controls for the optional dual rear seat entertainment screens. Amazon's Fire TV for Auto is now an option, so passengers can start a movie at home and continue watching in the car. The Alexa assistant is on board to accept commands on what to play. If that sounds like a ton of screens, just know that the Grand Wagoneer includes up to 7, including comfort control displays in the first 2 rows. Yukon Next is compatible with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, there is wireless charging, lots of USB ports, and the vehicle serves as a Wi-Fi hotspot. Audiophiles can upgrade to a high-end Macintosh audio system like that in the Grand Wagoneer over the standard Alpine system. Taking your Jeep Wagoneer off-road. The Wagoneer is too big to earn the Trail Rated by Jeep designation that most other SUVs in the brand's lineup get, but that does not mean it is not capable. Built on a modified version of the Ram 1500 body-on-frame architecture with an independent front and rear suspension, the Wagoneer offers 3 transfer cases, 2 of which include low-range gearing, 2 off-road modes, a 25-degree approach angle, 24-degree departure angle, and 22-degree breakover angle. So it is among the more capable full-size SUVs out there, provided you can find trails it can fit on. Normal ride height with the standard steel coil spring suspension is 8.0 inches, there is a step to help occupants ingress and egress. The optional Quadralift air suspension raises ground clearance to up to 10.0 inches, enough to ford water up to 24 inches deep. All Wagoneers and Grand Wagoneers will be built at the Warren, Michigan, plant that also makes the Ram 1500. While it uses a modified version of the pickup's architecture, engineers say most of the chassis is revised for the Jeeps and so it amounts to essentially a new platform. We expect future variants that bolster on and off-road capability, and future models with electrification, including a 4xe plug-in hybrid trim like that recently introduced on the Wrangler. Jim Morrison, Vice President of Jeep Brand North America, promises a premium dealer experience, as well, where customers are greeted by a certified Wagoneer sales consultant. Or, customers can arrange a remote showroom test drive and delivery if they prefer. After they've signed on the dotted line, there is online scheduling for service and customer vehicles are cleaned after every visit. When needed, customers will be given a quality loaner, and if they choose to wait at the dealer, there will be Wi-Fi, phone charging, beverages, and snacks. Perhaps the best part? Wagoneer buyers receive 24/7 customer support and maintenance including tire rotation for up to 5 years. Okay, maybe that's the second best part, after the Wagoneer's return. 2022 Jeep Wagoneer. Price $59,995. Layout front engine, RWD/AWD/4WD, 7-8 pass, 4-door SUV. Engine 5.7L/392 HP/404 lb foot OHV 16 valve V8, plus 16 HP/130 lb foot electric motor, 392 HP/404 lb FT comb. Transmission 8-speed auto. Curb weight 5,950 to 6,250 pounds, MFR. Wheelbase 123.0 in. LXWXH 214.7 x 83.6 x 75.0 to 77.6 in. 0 to 60 miles per hour 6.5 to 6.8 SEC, MTEST. EPA fuel econ not yet rated. On sale summer, 2021.
One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two.